Alright, well, good morning, everybody. Looks like the trail heads up this way. It is Thursday, June 29th, heading up the trail. And it is D-Day, the dreaded day. Today's the day that the family is headed home. They are taking off back for Illinois, and I am going to hike the Appalachian Trail. I'm going to go north. I guess that's just a campsite, huh? Lots of campsites along here. Just left Pine Grove Furnace State Park, and now I guess I don't know where we're at exactly or what but we're just in the woods in Pennsylvania, hiking north. So yeah, I'm not even going to talk about the family much at all. I'm just going to ignore that. I'll see them all in a few weeks for a wedding I'm doing in Illinois. So Halo's going to come out and meet me in New York and take me back for that. So that'll be fine. Anyway, in the meantime, I've got them keep hiking north. So feels amazing to be over the halfway point. That's a huge milestone. I talked about that in the video before this. Also was able to complete and crush the half-gallon challenge back at the camp store. I enjoyed nearly every bite of that. I can't believe that I was able to enjoy it, but I was. I just ate it slow, and I like ice cream really cold and really hard, and I just kept eating it, trying to eat the frozen stuff. Anyway, it went really well, and I didn't even feel that bad last night. They had closed the grill while I was eating ice cream, so the guy did make me up some chicken strips. So I ate a couple chicken strips for some sort of salty, protein after the ice cream. So that was good. Anyway, felt surprisingly good and slept surprisingly well and feel okay this morning. So thank you, Lord, for taking care of me, because I was worried that I was going to get sick or be sick. Wow, there's a beautiful smell of flowers there that it's still going. I wonder if it's whatever this is over here, but boy, it's beautiful smell. You can't believe how much more sensitive your nose gets when you spend months in the woods. Your ears and my ears and my nose. I wish my eyes got better. Anyway, it's beautiful out here. So we got going about 7:45. I didn't even look at my watch, to be honest, but I know we'd been hiking for a half hour and it was 8:15 or so. So I'm just guessing 7:45. Kind of had a relaxed morning, and quick goodbye with all the kids. I can't even say, I can't do a big goodbye, or I'd never be able to hike. So I just kind of put my head down and start hiking. So quick goodbye with all the kids, and a little longer with Halo. But anyway, hiking on, and Cur Dog's with me. So I'm thankful for that. Thankful that I got a friend. Anyway, looking at doing either 15 to a shelter or 19 to a campground, campsite type spot today. So we'll see how the terrain is and how we're feeling and all that, but like to do the 19. Headed into Carlisle tomorrow, the city of Carlisle, and should get a hotel room there, be able to do laundry and have a meal and kind of get back to normal, like start off from there with clean clothes and a clean body and hopefully rested, you know, and head on. Cur Dog's gonna zero there and go look at some family stuff, and I'm gonna hike on because I'm gonna have to take so much time off in July, so I'm gonna keep going. Anyway, I took a zero yesterday at Gettysburg, and that was super interesting. I'll talk about that later. My arm is tired from holding the camera up like this now. Sorry, I'll hold it way out. You can see better, but it's hard to hold it out there. Anyway, yeah, let me stop for now, and I'll talk about Gettysburg and then the plans next time I turn on the camera. All right, guys, I know I say it a lot, but I so mean it. Thanks so much for coming along with me, and stay tuned. Let's see what the trail brings today. All right, it's 11:30, and we've gone, is this 8 miles?
Approximately.
Yeah, roughly 8 miles this morning already. Been a pretty good morning. And the Cur Dog has convinced me to take a side road to some deli restaurant thing up here. And whoa, there's like a little curb there, huh? Anyway, oh my goodness. So we're braving the highway, walking it, headed for a cold drink and probably a hot sandwich. You cannot beat a cold drink and a hot sandwich when you're on the trail. So Cur Dog didn't have to do a lot of convincing to get me to do this. So it's supposed to be 2 tenths, but I think they lie.
I think it's 2 tenths in the parking area.
Yeah, 2 tenths plus like 4 tenths, and then it's off the road like 4. But anyway, we're almost there, I am sure.
It's right there.
And so, ooh, Cur Dog can see it. Can you smell the cooking?
I can.
Ooh, he can smell the cooking. So, all right, we're almost there. Anyway, we'll eat something and then head back to the trail and keep grinding out some more miles. All right, back on the Appalachian. Actually, okay, we're in the north. We're north of the Mason-Dixon line, so it is the Appalachian Trail. Back on the Appalachian Trail. And just got back from Green Mountain General Store and Deli off of Pennsylvania 34. And oh yeah, yummy. Neat place. In some ways it's kind of similar to Trent's Grocery. It's a general store, got a little bit of everything. But they made up some tremendous hot sandwiches. I had a Philly, no, it wasn't a Philly cheesesteak, it was just a cheesesteak. But boy, it was good. Man, it was good. And then I had a cream soda, one of those ones in the glass bottles, and a red Gatorade. And oh yeah, I am very satisfied, hydrated. Cur Dog bought some onion rings. I had some of those. And yummy, yummy, yummy. So now I'm packing some extra tortillas. Ooh. Yeah, tortillas and peanut butter and honey. But I didn't pack, I packed the bare minimum food, hoping I could try to get into Carlisle tomorrow with like next to nothing. So I'll have some extra tortillas at least today, which that's okay. That's not bad. Let's see. I was going to talk about something earlier and I can't remember what it was. Shoot. Well, if I think about it, I'll come back. But I'm really glad to hear like Heather F. let Halo know that her and Corbin and Amelia, I assume Quentin, are out doing some exercise more than what they were doing before. They're out hiking and walking and doing stuff because I had challenged them to. And so that is awesome. Way to go, guys. I'm really proud of you. And I'm proud of all of you that are out there doing it and making efforts, even if it's just minimal. You know, trying to do something. And so that's great. Last night, I went the extra mile for sure and ate my half gallon of ice cream. that was above and beyond the amount of ice cream that I normally eat. I had to work extra hard and try very much to finish it, but I stepped up and tackled the challenge head on. I worked hard and I got that half gallon gone. So I'm doing it too, right along with you guys. I would not recommend that to anybody unless you're through hiking. Then it's something that you kind of need to do. But I was surprised the number of hikers that didn't do the challenge. I thought nearly everybody would, but I'm going to guess it was 50-50 or so. So I could have definitely wimped out and not done it, and I wouldn't have been looked down upon. But I knew that was a challenge I could relish in, and you know what? I enjoyed nearly every bite of my strawberry cheesecake and then my chocolate chip cookie dough. So that was yummy. But you know, I am truly going to try to eat healthier now that Halo and the kids are gone. I'm going to kind of go back to trying to watch a little more, eat smarter. I know I got to keep the carbs up and the sugars so I don't burn any more muscle, but I'm going to try to do it as smart as I can. So just so you're aware, I'm going to try to be smarter. But hey, early riser, they had cherry Coke in there. First time I've seen it like available wherever I've been. And in fact, I grabbed one until I saw the cream soda in the glass bottle. So I put the cherry Coke back and I got me a cream soda. But that cherry Coke, I thought of you, buddy. So that and a honey bun and some Sour Patch Kids. And I could maybe rack up some huge miles like ER. Go from my 18 or 20 to his 30. Maybe that's the secret. I need more honey buns and cherry Coke. I climbed up really the first pretty decent little climb in Pennsylvania, and this is what I'm greeted to. Oh, it looks like the trail goes up there too. This is what I'm greeted by, is these awesome looking rocks. Wow, those are cool. Huh. Super neat. Looks like the trail goes up yonder, so I'm gonna head that way. I'm not opposed to sitting on one of these rocks for a minute. Wow, those are cool. Yeah, not opposed to sitting down at some point, but I'm still pretty charged up from my Gatorade and cream soda, and see, that's what I'm talking about. Blazes to blast and arrows telling us hikers where to go. Boy, these are just real pretty. All right, actually, that was no big deal. Just look at this cool spot. Going through a squeeze, but I didn't have a gallon of ice cream. Or I might not have fit. This wouldn't really be a problem with two hands, but trying to film as I go through here, there, without scraping my body, my legs or arms or hands on the rocks, that's the challenge. All right, looks like we turn and go down this way. Boy, just neat rocks. Big old boulders. It's pretty cool getting to climb around on these things. It's like a kid in the playground, except for I'm an adult and it's natural rocks. All right, let me... All right, I just came down that and through here, and there's the arrow. So now I'm going up through here. This is cool. This reminds me of like something out west, you know, going through these canyons and stuff. Look at the arrow. Georgia is that way. We don't want to go that way. That's the wrong direction. We want to continue heading towards Maine. Now I wonder where we go. Looks like this way. Boy, thank you for the arrows. Huh, so see, I just came right there. They just sent you up through there and down just strictly to do it. Just simply to go through the rocks. I think, I haven't gotten to watch very many of Early Riser's videos, but I think he talked about that. Oh, looks like we go down. But some people go up just to play or look around, but here are the blazes. Anyway, I think I can recall him talking about some of these places and being like what in the world, you know, why are whoever lays out the trail, I mean, they just like purposefully set out to make it more difficult or to go up over rocks or whatever. And, you know, yeah, I get it. Whoever lays this out is purposefully doing it. And I guess in a way I'm glad, because it makes it more challenging, and that makes the whole adventure that much more difficult, which makes it not easily obtainable by the average person. That's why it's as epic as it is. I haven't said legit in a while. That's what makes it legit. I think these are cool when a tree grows out of the rock. You know, hopefully the camera's not too shaky or whatever, and you can come along. Come along with the rocks. Have been today what I call fast rocks. You can walk pretty darn fast, but there's lots of these rocks that are like embedded in the ground, and they're poking up, and they just poke you, and they twist and kind of hurt your foot a little bit as you go across them. But they're so small you can move quickly across, which kind of makes them like more dangerous. So there's been a couple stretches of those fast rocks that I have to go pretty slow on. I'd rather do the big boulders any day than those little ones, and they're not the ankle breakers at all. They're just these pokey ones, and they're kind of the same color as the dirt, and they blend in, and they're hard to see, and yet you're trying to, the trail's pretty fast, and so it's just kind of a bad combination. Anyway, but my feet feel basically great, just those two toes, and I think once they start hurting, I start kind of gripping with them a little bit, which makes it worse. When I walk, I grip down with my piggies, and so that's why these zero drop shoes may be a good help for me, because it gets me back off the pad of my foot, and maybe my toes don't grab. So anyway, all right, I'll quit talking about that. Most of you could care less about my piggies and my feet and my shoes. So some of you are going to wonder, like, how are you doing after your family leaves? To be honest, I don't really even want to talk about it. Like, I'm better off to just ignore it, to not even think about it. This is the way I deal with this stuff. Just to think about it, I would be a blubbering mess and probably just quit. I would call up Halo and say, come back and get me, which she wouldn't do. So it would be a wasted phone call, but that's what I would try. So instead, I basically ignore it. I think ER told Halo, or told me, to just hike on, just hike north and forget about it, and you'll hike through it. And that's absolutely, I mean, that's my plan, my strategy. Bad news, bad circumstances like that, I just put my head down and push through and kind of ignore it and move forward. So how am I doing? I'm doing, I guess I'm doing fine. At the same time, of course not at all, but I'm doing great. So what I will tell you guys, because this is what I'm going to try to convince myself, is I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. I'm just hiking on, and today's been a great day. The trail's been beautiful. Not too difficult or whatever. Had a nice lunch, nice air-conditioned lunch, and so I'm looking forward to getting to camp, and I love setting up my tent and sleeping. I'm looking forward to all that. So I'm looking forward to rehydrating my, I think it's like Southwest fajita rice tonight, with some of Halo's dehydrated beef to go with it. So remember, I'm doing stoveless right now, so I'm gonna have to cold soak that for a while, and then I will be able to enjoy. So I'm not hungry in the least. It's been, it's so warm out. It's probably hot. It's in the timber. There's a little breeze. It's not too bad. Anyway, it's so warm. I'm not really that hungry or anything. Plus I had that big lunch, or that really good lunch with that cheese steak. And so mainly I'm more thirsty than anything else. So at the next water source, I'm going to sit down and chug some water. Hopefully it's cold. That would be nice. Otherwise, that's it. I think it's kind of like my strategy for through hiking is you just sort of ignore what's bothering you. You know, ignore the cold, ignore the challenge, ignore the hill, ignore the emotional stress, and just keep hiking. Just keep pushing on, and don't think about some of that stuff. That's kind of my strategy. So anyway, maybe you guys have some thoughts or whatever. Also, I'd love to hear it. Sorry about not being able to respond to your guys' comments. I very much value them. I do eventually get all of them read. And so many of you are so kind and so considerate. And I so much covet all your prayers and all your support. I'll talk about spiritually next, maybe, if I can remember. All right, I just came up through here. And now I am sitting here and I'm holding the camera at eye level. Right there. So that's what I have to figure out how to climb up. And I do not really see a good way to do it. But there's a blaze up there. So I know this is the way. Oh, I guess you could maybe go under. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go up here. But I'm going to have to put the phone down and figure it out. Boy, I don't know how Cur Dog's going to get through here. I don't know how an 80-year-old or a blind person would either. Let's see if a 45-year-old, somewhat blind person can do it. All right, this is Center Point Knob, and Cur Dog is thinking that this was the center point of the AT at some point, some other time, a long time ago. There's nothing written on there, is there?
It says Center Point Knob.
Okay, yep, just a plaque on top of a little knob here.
The original AT midpoint.
Original AT midpoint. Aha! Very nice. Some stones up there. How is your day going, Brother Cur Dog?
Very good, thank you.
Very good. So we just blew by the Alec Kennedy shelter back there yonder, and climbed up Center Point Knob. So now we are headed for Boiling Springs, the community, and there is a backpackers campground there. So it will be 19 whatever miles for the day. So that's the destination, headed that way. I'm gonna go there. Boy, there's all kinds of stuff to read and do. I can't quite tell what that all says, but maybe you guys can. You can pause your TVs. Yeah, no idea. There is nothing really inside the box. Some graffiti. Some stuff. All right. We will just keep on hiking. It is 4:45. So about 4:45. Ouch. Right now, expect to get into the shelter about 6. Or not the shelter, the campground. Roughly 6 o'clock. So I have, you've already heard me say, no stove, so I'm going to soak my food. In fact, at some point up here, I may do that before I even get there. But I'm not sure about water. He said there's water on a spigot at the Central Appalachian Trail, whatever. There's an office there in Boiling Springs. And so there's a spigot there, I guess. You can get water, and there's a gas station not too far from the campground and stuff like that. We've already eaten a hot sandwich today, so I don't need anything other than some water. I didn't want to carry it from the shelter back there from the stream very bad, so I've got just about a liter, and I've got my afternoon concoction mixed up. My rehydrate, red raspberry rehydrate, with some black cherry Mio mixed in with it to make it go a little further, and that is a delicious and fairly nutritious afternoon treat. So my my toes, the second ones, the ones that are always giving me fits, are kind of barking at me here today. They're definitely not as happy as they've been on all all other days since I've grabbed the new shoes. So I'll be glad to kind of quit hiking and hopefully let them rest. And I may have to tape them tomorrow. That's really a bummer. I hate having to tape stuff. Yeah, but we'll see. So let me think about it for a second. What was I gonna? I can't remember if I was gonna talk about something later on. I apologize if I was. There was something I was gonna talk about. I talked about spiritually. Yeah, spiritually, I'll be very honest. I'm having kind of a bit of a struggle. Some of you are very interested and concerned about my spiritual health. I'll just say this: it's definitely kind of been a bit of a dry spell as far as opportunities to share the Lord with people, and I'm doing okay, but not definitely not thriving. It's just such a radically different environment than what I'm used to. I'm not able to read and study like I have, and I'm not able to just focus on particular passages and draw out the meanings and relate them to life and share that. You know, it's just not the same. I'm just busy hiking, and I mean very busy hiking. You can ask Halo and the kids. It's not easy doing this every minute. Like, I have not just been able to kind of relax or whatever much at all. And so consequently, I wonder what's going on here. That is just a weird, let me double check over here. I must have misread the blazes, because that was odd. See, the blazes, guess it just, I don't know. It shows like it should go to the right, but I can't, it doesn't really say. Anyway, all right, we'll pick up where we're at here later. All right, those of you from the Midwest know exactly what I'm filming there. That there makes me feel like I am home. That's some corn right there, and we have come out of the woods and into a cornfield, actually the edge of a cornfield. So we are walking, or I've heard rumors about walking some cornfields and needing some sunscreen or a big hat. I've got sunscreen, but no hat. I sent that back. Kaboom! Blammo! You guys got to blow that one up with me. Definitely reminiscent of home. I am walking down a lane headed to a farm pond in my mind with my fishing pole and tackle box ready to go get some bluegill and hopefully a big bass. Oh, this is flat, open, just radically different. This is not your typical Appalachian Trail scenery right here. You can say first view of the day. It's just an odd view. And man, the trail is so skinny. My foot doesn't really fit on it. And so it's kind of like walking on a weird angle every step. It's not that comfortable walking through here. But anyway, it does not make me miss home. The sun is beating down. It's pretty warm, and either the breeze is behind me or it has stopped. So it's a little warm. Yep, I like the woods. I like the mountains. I don't even really mind the up and down normally, as long as it's somewhat in moderation. But yeah, I love the trail. Oh yeah, that's beans there. I didn't even pay attention to the crops. I was just looking at the farm and looking at the trail. Anyway, yeah, love the Appalachian Trail and love all the everywhere it's been. I don't even miss the views that much when we're deep in the woods. I love the woods. I love to see the different types of trees and the rock formations and the way the topography changes and all that. Boy, this reminds me of hot summer days. I think the temperature was supposed to get to near 90 today, and I think the low tonight is like 69. You know, it's basically 70 degrees. So hopefully it cools off. Maybe there'll be a light breeze or whatever. Alright, well, good evening. It is now about 20 after 6, and the Appalachian Trail runs right on the other side of those trees, right there in the weeds, and then it turns and goes that way right into Boiling Springs. Boy, I don't know why it's all jerky. Huh. Anyway, we're back. We're in some little tiny pine grove forest, and there's a couple of other folks. I do not know their names yet, but they headed for the showers at the public pool and a local watering hole, I believe, a tavern. So that's where they took off to. But here is my duplex set up here, and Dog is all the way over there. It's very a convenient place. I hung my trekking poles up until I needed them for my tent, and now I'm hanging my puffy there. My food bag is down, pack is resting against my trekking pole. I'll show you inside. I haven't showed inside my tent in a while. So there's my Western Mountaineering Everlight quilt, Thermarest Neo Air X Lite, and my Sea to Summit Aeros regular sized pillow. So I've got my stuff set up in there, and I am cold soaking my victuals in that little jar right there. They're just in there rehydrating some rice and dehydrated beef. So it takes a little extra longer for that to get going. I've got some crackers and a cookie for dessert. Crackers to go supper and a cookie for dessert. I'm going to sit on this here log. I've stretched, and I'm about to relax now. I'm going to rest, relax, recover, eat some supper, yum yum, and then stroll into town for some chocolate milk and some water. So that is the plan. Beautiful spot. I love the pine forests for camping. I love sleeping on the pine needles. It's very soft and quiet. If it rains, it absorbs the rain. It doesn't splatter and make mud. So love the pine forests. Beautiful. Little limbs can fall, but nothing major. So yep, nice spot. Beautiful evening. Nice little breeze. It says it's like 77 degrees, so it's cooling off, and look forward to a good night's rest, and then tomorrow to head into Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and going to stay at the Days Inn, which has laundry on premise and a breakfast. So get my money's worth there. Don't have much to do in town tomorrow. Needed to get something at Walmart. I don't remember. Oh, some Epsom salts. Hopefully I can pick some Epsom salts up and crash at the hotel and try to really get some good rest. Tomorrow evening. Just need a shower and some rest, hopefully a good night's sleep, and I'm going to hit the trail and start marching north. Walking up into small town. Ooh, should have brought a slingshot. We could have had a roasted duck. Actually, I'd have to cold soak the ducks. I don't know how well that would work. Anyway, small town, USA. Cute little stone bridge and one lane little bridges. There's a swimming pool over there, just Boiling Springs. Like I said, small town USA. Headed into town to get some water, throw away garbage, and hopefully wash my legs off a little bit. And Dog is looking for some chocolate milk. We're headed for the outfitter where they have a spigot on the outside of the building, I guess. That's where we're going.
Let's head up Front Street.